What is it like to be you? I can scarcely imagine. Though we do conform to the same normal form, there seems to be some sort of fundamentally incompatible elemental melody which makes me hesitant to think that I can accurately complete the gaps in my assumptions of your general demeanor. So you must simply explain yourself. For starters, I would like to know, if you were to see me in a park in a state of ecstasy, smelling the flowers, rolling about the grass, laughing at the trees, dancing to a tune that you cannot hear, and otherwise full of joy and wonder and love, would you be made to feel quite uncomfortable by this? You must help me understand, for you see, if I were to see me, or you, or anyone between in a public park in a state of revelry, smelling the flowers, rolling about the grass, laughing at the trees, dancing to a tune I cannot hear, and otherwise full of joy and wonder and love, I could only be made to share in that love, amplify that energy, and send my full blessing to the one projecting such pure childlike bliss. So if you would be pleased to plainly explain to me your feelings in such a situation, I would greatly appreciate it. For I have explored as much as I could of the confines of my own rhyme, from the edge of creation to the center of nothing, from cacophonous melancholy to agonizing ecstasy. But the more I test my soul's vestments, the more I pursue my personal truth, the harder it becomes for me to understand you. Now, as someone who would really like to make some sort of sense out of literally everything that is and isn't possible to make sense out of, I would be so grateful if you would please simply explain yourself so that I am not so confused by what seems to me to be very strange fears and motivations. Does a lack of understanding incite fright in your sight, or inspire curiosity? If the former, then I must know how you cope with the obvious fact that the vast majority of the fundamental principles of reality are not remotely fully understood by you. For you must be aware of how little you are truly aware of. It is very unhealthy not to know how much one does not know. That's what makes it so beautiful when you do gain knowledge which is built upon more than assumption or trust. What is it like to hear with your ears? Do you read more or less between the lines and around the signs of the median media minefield of minds? What is it like to create with your hands? Do you delete your bleeding lyrics 1,000 times until it sounds just right? What is your sense of value based on? Please, not the almighty false idol psyop of fiat. I can only imagine the value of wisdom and understanding. Perhaps if you could explain your reasoning, though, I might finally be able to grasp it. It's hard for me to think about you. I always want to hope for the best, but expect the worst because I've been so conditioned by exposure to some of the least verbose ghost hosts that I must be wary of any sort of expectations. But I want so desperately to know you. For I cannot grow with you or flow with your glow if I act solely on the best bet that I've gleaned from seeing only things that look like you yet express not your essence. So please, tell me what you are, so that I might ponder how far you are willing to wander.